The case against plastics is, well, rather plastic. Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. There are few more villainous products in the eyes of hardcore environmentalists than plastics. They're hard to recycle, they complain. Making them emits lots of carbon dioxide. They account for over 5% of greenhouse emissions, which is bad for global temperatures. Hence, the ugly image for plastics and the constant campaigns to ban or sharply reduce their use. Plastic bags, cups, and straws are the most obvious targets. The socialist-minded United Nations is pushing a global treaty to deal with plastic pollution. An agreement is expected before the end of the year. Well, when it comes to greenhouse emissions, it turns out that plastics are getting a bum rap. The terrible image should be sent to the dumpster. In a recent Reason magazine article entitled, "Plastics are better for the climate than aluminum and glass," really? Environmentalist expert Ronald Bailey notes that, quote, "As the debate over plastics continue, it's crucial to consider the full environmental impact of our choices and embrace innovations that actually reduce greenhouse emissions," end quote. A new study in the peer-reviewed journal Environmental Science and Technology discovered that, quote, "replacing plastics with alternatives, such as glass and aluminum, is worse for greenhouse gas emissions in most cases," end quote. The difference can be enormous. Take plastic bags versus paper ones. The paper variety discharges 5 times more greenhouse gases than the plastic versions. Aluminum cans and plastic bottles vis-a-vis plastic containers? Not even close. Aluminum is 3 times worse than plastics. Bottles, twice as bad. The 2-to-1 margin for emission badness holds when comparing wooden dining sets with the plastic ones. How can this be, given the disdainful image of plastics? Because in evaluating emissions, climate fanatics ignore the entire cycle of a product, from manufacturing to the end of its use. Transportation, for instance, is a factor. A paper bag weighs 6 times as much as plastic. This strange myopia, ignoring the whole cycle, riddles the whole climate change approach of power-hungry governments. The alleged environmental advantages of so-called renewables, for example, disappear when going from start to finish. Add in the exorbitant expenditures, the unreliability of weather, and the immense opportunity costs, money that could have been used elsewhere, such as for clean water, and the case for the big energy alternatives, solar panels and windmills, disappears like water in a scorching desert. This UN treaty project is really another exercise in modern socialism, whereby governments grab more economic power, not by actual ownership, but by extensive regulation. In this case, in the words of the UN itself, the treaty should be, quote, "a comprehensive approach that addresses the full cycle of plastic, including its production, design, and disposal," end quote. In other words, global bureaucrats would decide how much plastic can be made and what kinds. We don't need this, not in this day and age. I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions. I look forward to being with you soon again.